So if you just run through like what the business is, what you're trying to achieve, why you're looking at workshops.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm a personal stylist. I think currently I make around $30,000 a year, which is okay, but not great. My annual, I would like to be making at least 100 like this year. My thing is that I don't really shop for people and I don't tell people that they have to buy new clothes necessarily. But I do help them learn how to connect with their own creative process. The spots sold from my last workshop were like 85 for like $25.
And so the
And
workshop is the entry point, right? You have a workshop, and then off the back of that, you sell your 6 month program.
no.
Okay.
No, I didn't sell anything from the workshop. I didn't sell I didn't try to sell anything because I had done a workshop in February, a free workshop, and I tried to sell and it didn't work. So I thought that it just didn't work.
Mm.
So I didn't try to sell this time because it's a little bit triggering for me to say like, here's my workshop, and then nobody clicks and then I'm just
Mm.
like, okay. Yeah. So the revenue I made from that workshop was around $2,100. And the goal for the next workshop, um, oh no, the number I would like to sell like maybe like between like 30 and 50 workshops, and I'd like to sell it at like $70. That would be like amazing. So that would be great.
So you'd make 3.5K, but that's not the main way you'd make the revenue. It would be with the 6 month program, right? Which
Yeah,
is how much again?
$1,500.
1500. Okay. Is there continuity? So can they purchase anything after the 6 months?
Yeah, yeah. So after the 6 months, they can sign up for the community, and that's like $89 a month.
Okay. And in the past, have you had good uptake for the continuity offer?
Uh, well, this is the first time I'm offering the 6 month package, but the people who stay in the Iconic Style Studio, like the people who get it, they stay for a long time. So they
So,
stay for
sorry, the iconic style studio is the
is
$89.
the yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you clear like once you get people in, they're hooked, basically, right? That's from
Mhm.
previous conversations. That's what it sounds like. The
Yeah.
value's there once they're in. It's just mainly convincing people that they need this.
Mhm.
And as you've already pointed out, there's some like potential weaknesses for the offer that you have versus something super visual, like they looked shit before, now they look amazing. That's not really what you're doing. It's more like confidence and taste, right?
Mhm.
That at least that's my interpretation. You're really trying to give people the confidence in their own um, opinions, and then also giving them some like style principles so that they can develop their taste over time, and then find confidence in their body and their style. Um, and maybe that's a little less tangible than the here's a bad outfit and here's a good one. Um, so I think this is a good problem to have. It's obviously got its challenges, but a lot of people have terrible products and then they just sell it and it works for a bit and then it doesn't work because eventually people find out that the product's crap. You've done the hard work of building something that people really like. Now we just have to market it well. So the last one you did, what was it again? 2.2K. You're not actually looking for that much more in terms of ticket sales. Um, you want 3.5K, so it's not a huge increase there. The main increase I think we're going to be looking for is, well, one, we're going to sell during and after the workshop. Uh, and as you've already pointed out, some of selling, maybe a great deal of selling, is emotional and psychological, not technical or tactical. So if we
Mhm.
don't want to sell, all of the tactics in the world will not work. You will find a way to like sell poorly if you don't fundamentally shift your belief around what selling is.
Mm.
Um, and so we will need to address some of that, like, and we'll talk about some of that on this call. Like, why don't you like selling? How can we shift that belief? Do you ever see any like forms of selling that you do like? And then we can get into like when to sell on a workshop, when not to, things like that. Um, I would like to first go into the workshop you did previously and see what we could potentially learn there. Um, and then also talk tactically about like how did you sell it, how often did you sell it, things like that.
Mhm.
Um, let's start with the like how long were you selling it for? Like what was the period where you're like, okay, join the workshop, join the workshop. I know it was $25, right?
Yeah.
$25 and you sold 80 something of them.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get those 80 people?
I sold like I didn't sell too hard. I sold like for like about like 3 weeks
Okay.
or something. Like yeah. So I probably made like a couple of videos per week on that.
Okay.
So
6 videos, any stories?
probably I don't remember. I'm not that good at stories. I'm trying to, but I'm not that
Hmm.
good at stories.
Okay, that's a huge gap because stories are like a really great way to sell. I'd say
Mhm.
I've sold way more through stories than through reels. Um, and then in terms of emails, did you send many of those?
I looked at that and I actually didn't send any emails.
Okay. And your email audience size is what?
8,000.
8,000. Open rate is
Like it's 20, like 23 or something, 22, 23,
okay. So
under
that
25.
number we need to have come up. I think
Mhm.
like most industries, like a decent rate, not like exceptional, but decent would be about 40 to 45%. Um, so we're accessing about half of what we could do. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if we'll have time to address all of these things. Some of the like easy wins for email open rates is having a really strong open flow. Like so, the first onboarding flow, it's really strong. It's your best emails, and it's getting them to like first get you into the main inbox, not promotions or spam,
Mhm.
and doing things like replying to the emails, clicking links in the emails, getting them used to interacting with your emails. And this is good for the individual, and it's really good for like inboxes. Gmail and Outlook and stuff like that will use these as signals for how good the quality of your emails are. And if it's low quality, it pushes them more into promotions and spam. So that's one of the first things you can do. And those emails, you'll be sure that they have good open rates um, because you've picked the ones with the best open rates. Um, and then something else you can do is like moving forward, you can remove people from your email list that haven't opened in, say, 6 months, 12 months, because they're
Mhm.
just going to affect the data and make you look bad to email inboxes. Um, and then you can start to think about like what does it look like for my emails to be something that the people that access my emails always want to open. Um, and if you have a real email strategy, that will start to increase the open rates as well. Rather than a lot of people just email when they want to, so there's no real cadence. It's not like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going to email you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or once a week, or whatever it is. It's very
Mhm.
random. Sometimes they might go 2 months without sending an email, and then they send five in a week. Do you have a cadence currently?
Yeah, I have an assistant that writes an email based off of the lesson from the We 40 for the course. She writes it. email once a week.
I think it, at least as an experiment, it could be useful going, for the next month, I'm going to write half the emails or an email a week, and I'm just going to see if it affects the open rate and if I think these emails are better and like, do I actually like it? How many emails are you sending a week?
One.
One a week. Okay.
I could send more. I mean, I could send as many.
Yeah, so usually if you send more emails, you'll get a higher, you'll make more money. Um,
Okay.
and if you if you look at people like Alex Hormozy, when they have something to sell, they ramp up like crazy. I think he sent like 14 emails in 2 days when he was
Oh,
doing his book launch. So it just
okay.
like breaks the paradigm around how many you can send. Before I go into these, the thing I think you did best, I think you actually do this much better than I do. I learned from this, was you get a ton of very natural audience participation, and you really seem to like engage well with it. Seems like a kind of a natural habitat for you. So I feel like this format can work really well for you once you dial it in. And I would give yourself like, you've done it once. This is going to be the second time. I would do it probably another 3 times. So this time plus two more before making any assumptions about whether it works or not. Because you're going to learn, this is going to be the first time you sell. You're going to do different topic next time. So there's going to be a ton of refinement that has to happen here. I
Mhm.
really think this format will absolutely crush for you once you nail it, because you need people to believe that they're going to gain the confidence and that you're the person to work with. And a workshop is like one of the best ways to do that.
Okay.
So, issues with the current workshop, the topic is too broad. And so it feels like you're going to kind of give me like an overview of a bunch of different things. Um, and then there's less like clarity around what's missing because I kind of get a bit of help on a bunch of different things. And so I find that the best workshops go deeper into one topic
Mhm.
in a way that makes you go, okay, well, I need the rest of the stuff now. So an example is, um, uh, I mean, this is a terrible example, but one that I heard from Alex Hormozy was like someone did a lead magnet that was like, here's how to know if someone wants to kiss you. And it's just like a 5 minute thing that's like, oh, if they do this or do that, then they want to kiss you. Um, and that then answers one problem. It's obviously not a workshop, but it solves one thing. But then you have to go, well, how do I go on a date? How do I get someone to like me, whatever. And so we want to do something similar where we go, oh, that was actually really well answered really well, but in a way that leaves so many other questions unanswered. So
Mhm.
we do that with uh, switch to a much more niche specific topic and answer it really, really well. But you have to like bake into the workshop the gaps, right? So it needs to be a topic that naturally produces gaps. So if you just talk about style in general, it doesn't create gaps. There are gaps, right? Because you understand actually style takes 6 months. And the truth is, it doesn't even take 6 months. It takes like a lifetime of exploration and discovering yourself and what's out there.
Mhm.
But when you don't know a topic as well as you do, and this is true of all humans, we make assumptions. We like think we know more than we do know when we actually don't know a lot. And so we don't want to go broad and like kind of address everything super niche and a topic that naturally makes them go, oh, I need the next thing.
Mhm.
Usually that you want to be thinking about. stuff sequentially. So like, what's the first thing they need to know, or one of the first things they need to understand before they can understand the rest? If you start trying to educate on a problem that's way further down the line, then they also won't make that leap. So they'll be like, oh, I'm not even there, so I cannot connect with it. Solve for where they are right now. And then now they're like, oh, wow, Janine can solve problems, but there's all these other problems I need solved. The other thing is, and I didn't realize you weren't trying to sell, but when we do try and sell, we want to introduce the sell at the start. This does two things. One, like if I'm on a workshop, I think you're going to sell me. And if you don't address it at the start, I feel like kind of there's this tension in the air, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And so we would just want to bring that out into the open. And for me, it's like I'll try and do it in a comedic way. But I never want it to feel like I'm blindsiding people or they're wondering if there's a sale coming or whatever. I just want to be like, hey, look, elephant in the room. I'm going to sell you at the end. You don't have to take it. If this is enough for you, sweet. But we've got the program. It's amazing. Da, 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 da. Then we want to sell through the examples. So you're teaching them, you're saying, okay, you need to learn this style principle, or here's how to become more confident, or whatever it is. And instead of going, okay, guys, think about this or think about that, or here's 5 minutes, work on this or that, use an example. So like, like Sarah, like Jessica, whatever, they did this, and when they came into the program, they were doing this and that, and then we helped them, so it can be very direct, it can be more subtle, but you want to be using examples from the program, or you want to be referencing things from the program. So, I mean, we go into much further detail in the program, but for now, all we have time for is XYZ, So you're reminding them there's something else, there's a program, so that when we get to the proper sale, it's not, you're not blindsiding people. The example I like to give is, and this happens a ton with guys, they like pretend to be women's friends for like 4 years, and then, when they break up with their partner, they lunge in for a kiss, and the woman's like just completely blindsided, like, where did that come from? So we're just making explicit our intentions at the start, so that people can decide what they want to do, right? And then we want to also, as we sell through the program, through the whole workshop, what happens is it lowers the pressure for us. It's not this huge thing that has to go well at the end. We've already started to sell. We're selling because we've introduced that there is something else to buy, so it's now in their mind, and we've lowered the pressure for us and for them, and now we're starting to sell as we educate, so it feels way less salesy. And then so that what happens at the end is we don't have to sell as much at the end because we've been selling throughout. The last thing to do is don't leave the sell until the very end. We want to go like this. So if we visualize this, we want to be like the main content, sell, and then Q&A. And the Q&A is to answer questions about the main content and questions about this, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And you want to make it clear here, we're going to talk about the program for 5 minutes, and then afterwards I'll open up to questions about insert style subject here. So the goal with that is people have to stay around if they want the rest of the value of the workshop.
Okay.
So we don't put it where most people put it is they put it here. So it's the last thing they do is sell.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
people will be like, oh yeah, I've got enough, I'm gonna bounce. Um, and this is just a much better structure. It also, having done both, it feels nicer for me as well when I've done it this way. Because it's not this big, huge event that I'm like waiting for at the end. And then I'm like, I'm gonna sell for a bit and then I'm gonna go back into giving value. And that's important for me, and I know it's important for you too. This is the main framework. So you introduce a topic that's contained, then you say that you're going to talk about the program, and then signal that there's more value to come afterwards, so they need to stick around. And then when you're selling in reference to this, right? So you're going, okay, this is what you just learned, but here are all the gaps. And it's not like a lie or a manipulation. It's true. You cannot learn style in 90 minutes or 2 hours or 3 hours. You can't. It takes time. So, and I mean, I don't think for now we'll talk about pricing. I know your program's 1,500. That feels very low, but I want to see if we can make it work at 1,500. But people pay a lot for style and to feel good, and so I think we can increase that on future ones. But let's start with this. But yeah, the reason your program is 6 months is because you believe it takes time to learn this stuff. And so it's okay to be like, this is a 2 hour workshop. If that's enough for you, if you feel like you've got enough, or you don't have the money, fine. But the truth is, style is a lifelong lesson. And what we're trying to do here is fill in this gap, that gap, that gap. You know, these are all the things you need to know now in order to accelerate the speed at which you learn. And then here would be also testimonials, anything like that. If you could get someone to come on and talk about their experience, even better. Even if you give them, you know, oh, would you spare an hour and I'll give you like an extra month for your time, whatever. Like, get someone who's been through it. I know people who've been through your program who absolutely love it. So I know your stuff works, and I know I'm not your target audience. You're like speaking to women, but that would like get me over the line because it's just so convincing. So and it's also, once again, you're not selling, and you know that like also lowers the amount of time that you have to sell for. So you're like, I'm going to introduce the program, I'm going to talk about the gaps, and then I'm going to introduce my friend and be like, all right, you know, Sandra, you've been through the program. I'd love you to just like share your experience. Like, what did you like? How did it help you? Ask them some questions, and then introduce the price. Okay, it's 1,500 for, and always introduce the price at the end. Because if I just say it's 1,500, they go, whoa, oh my God, but they don't know what it is, and they won't be listening. So we always want to
At the end of the
price.
at the end of the Q&A.
No, Q&A is the last thing. So that's going to be like, oh, when does it start? Or you mentioned this thing about style. How do I do that? Introduce the price at the end of the pitch, right? So that's going to be in here. So you're going to set right at the end, this bit here, that's where you're going to pitch. Sorry, that's when you're going to say the price. So you've had your testimonial, like the person come on and say, oh, that was amazing, you know, just couple minutes. And then you go, cool, so it's $1,500. I've popped the link in the chat. Also, when you start, pop the link in the chat immediately. So right here, we're going to talk about the program. Link goes in the chat. Could be your assistant that does this, so you can just like um, continue to go, so that people can potentially book a call right then and then. You can go, cool, Sandra booked the call, Alyssa booked a call, whoever, and that
Mhm.
makes it exciting.
Mhm.
And it means that you can focus on the rest while they like potentially look through the landing page or whatever else. So always like leave the link right here. Then you sell, pitch, whatever you want to call it, and then um, at the end is the price. If you don't do the price, then you'll get calls with people that are not qualified.
Mhm.
So if they book a call after knowing the price, the likelihood of them paying is like way higher.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. So you were saying like to have like a Calendly and then I think in Calendly you can ask questions, right? And if you don't answer the question, then you can't book the call, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
100%.
All right.
You
Cool.
should do that too, but you might not need to say, can you afford XYZ if you said it in the thing. You can also add it, um, but you will know that everyone that goes onto that Calendly pretty much has heard the price and is not afraid of the price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and so, but I would probably go uh, like this landing page with the. Actually, I don't think you need landing page right then and there because you've already just explained it. So I would just go immediately to the Calendly. But if
Mm-hmm.
you, the other thing I'm guessing you're missing, post workshop, um, sell the program a bunch. So 4, 5 times. So everyone that was, not even the people that just attended, but everyone that purchased, because you won't get everyone to show, and that's fine. And you can
Mm-hmm.
still get purchases of your program just from people that bought that didn't show as well. So via email. So we're going to send them a bunch of emails saying, hey, like, uh, depending on whether they attended or not, you send them different emails. But we're doing this program, it launches XYZ, we're looking for 10 people. That's a different thing, but like, obviously, your program should have urgency, like a deadline, and a limited number of people. Urgency plus deadline. And these are not fake. I know you have a cohort, so you're starting on a deadline, and the urgency is based on like, um, okay, there's a certain number of people, or scarcity, we could say.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a certain number of people and that you can handle, and then you have a deadline. And it's usually, I think, better to start with a smaller number that you know you can close, rather than saying, oh, it's 500 and then you only have three sell, and because it doesn't create any of the pressure. Um,
Yeah.
does all of this make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Cool.
could say like, okay, I only have 10 spots open and then
Yep.
say and then we start now, blah blah blah. And you think that I should talk to everybody before they buy.
You will get more sales
Okay. And
unless you're
so
bad at sales, and then it's better to just have them look at to just have them pay. So it'd
well
be
like
offer doc, and then from the offer doc they could pay.
yeah, so this is the funny thing is so I don't know if I'm good or not, but like I had a sales coach before and we had like a question like an application and then I would get on this they would book the call and I would try to sell them and then they like never bought like zero bought. And then she's like, okay, well, this time, like, act as if they've already decided yes, like, and you're just onboarding them. And
Yep.
so once I did it, then they all closed. So they
Great.
all booked. And so should I just be like, instead of trying to sell them, be like, oh, this is so great that you decided to do this. Can't wait to get you started. Here's what the program, just kind of like.
If that works for you,
Okay.
then you can do it. You'll just need to frame the call like that. Because if I go on a discovery call and they were like, "Oh, I'm so glad you've or decided to buy," I'd be like, "I'm still deciding." But
Yeah.
you
Okay.
can say that they've gone through a workshop, so they know what you do is valuable. It's targeted, it's like super specific. It's not
Mhm.
broad. So they understand they have many gaps in their understanding that you can teach them. They know the
Mhm.
price, they have the testimonials, they have the pitch, they've booked the call. And so there's a bunch of reasons why, like, at that point, it's really, for most people, just like, are you trustworthy? Are you going to screw me over? Like,
Mhm.
at that point, they're probably just a bit scared of the
Mhm.
price, right? They're not like hopping on the call uh, to understand your model more or whatever. Like most people, they're just like, will this work for me? Do I trust you? They just want to have a conversation. So it's not, if you were doing just like, let's say, ads and you were getting people on sales calls, they're cold people, that's a proper sales call. You're having to convince these people, and they're like, dance for me, monkey boy. Like they're trying to make. They're like, why should I pick you over this person and that kind of stuff? That won't be happening. It'll just
Mhm.
be you and them. And when I uh, when I do sales calls from ads or organically, just like straight sales calls, the close rate is about like if it's ads, it's about 40-45%. And if
Mhm.
it's through a workshop, it's like 80-85%.
Mhm.
And I also change my approach. Like it's way more just like, and you've gone through this, so it's way more just like a casual conversation. Like I'm still
Mhm.
gonna reiterate I'm gonna try and understand your needs. So that bit is like, kind of like a sales call, but I also want to know like, can I help you? And for me, that's a more helpful framework because I also don't like, sleazy, like aggressive selling. So I'm
Mhm.
like, can I actually help you? Is your mindset kind of right? I'm looking for those sorts of things. And then I'll reiterate what the program's about. And then I'll be
Mhm.
like, yeah, any questions? And then we'll just have a chat.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah,
uh,
but I think that I was a little bit different because I already knew that I was going to buy. Like I was like, "Where's the link?" And
yeah,
like, and I had already considered buying like a year prior, so I was a little bit different.
for sure.
But
But
maybe they'll be like that too. Maybe they'll be like, "Oh,
some
I
of
was
them
gonna,"
will be like that. And
yeah.
that's the point is when you do the workshop, most of the people are either like ready to buy or very close to ready to buy, and they just want to talk to you.
Mhm.
But I have also tried it with the offer doc, and I sold less. So I think even people who are like, basically ready to buy, they just want to chat to you and like, you can help them through that process of like, because oftentimes we put off what's good for us. That's true of like most people. They're like, oh, I'll figure it out myself, or I'll wait till next year, or stuff like that. I've had
Mhm.
people like that who are like, I'll figure it out, I'll do it next year. One of the guys who came through the boot camp, he hopped on a sales call with me and then was like, I'll figure it out myself. And then 18 months later, he had lost 500 followers and he's like, okay, let's do it. And then he
Mhm.
like, I got like many, many million view videos when his highest views before that was like 2,000. And he was, I don't know if he sold it, but he was in the process of selling the business
Mhm.
because of how well the content was doing. So, and the same is going to happen with style. Like people will, when they have time between the workshop, if you just give them an offer doc and they're just sitting there looking at the price, they're like, I could actually just buy some clothes with this, or maybe I should try and figure it out myself, or buy a book on it and do it that way. So there's going
Mhm.
to be reasons, or it's not about the money, but it's like actually in their gut they're like scared of the change because in order
Mhm.
to like transform in any area of your life, you have to do things that are painful and scary and hard and stressful, and so they may not even know that that's the reason they don't want to do it, but they might find excuses. Oh, I don't have time, or da 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 da. And
Hmm.
so just getting on the calls, it gives people one, okay, I'm on the workshop and I booked the call, so I'm probably going to attend the call. And so if I'm going to attend the call, I'm still in that buyer mindset. Whereas if it's just an offer doc, oftentimes people, unless they're very hot and ready to buy, can be like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let me think about it.
What is an offer doc?
It's just like a doc that explains the offer, like a Google doc.
Okay.
It's like very popular right now, and it does work. It just requires more sophistication and much more um, demand. So if you
Okay.
have 10,000 people on your workshop and an offer doc, and you say, I've got 10 spots, it will sell.
Hmm.
Um, but if you have less people, it won't sell as well. And um, sales calls, if you can sell, will always outsell an offer doc.
Hmm.
The only question then is like, do I want to do that? But for now, because we want to maximize the total number of sales, I think it's worth doing. And I
Hmm.
would assume probably to be conservative, that you'll sell 50% of calls. That's super conservative, but I think
Hmm.
it's best to go off of that. So if we want 20 people, oh, sorry, 10 people, we need 20 calls.
Okay.
Um,
So then we need how many people in the workshop?
so then you need, depends how many people book calls. I think the people you're going to speak to are already going to be quite targeted, but I would say you'd need probably like 100 people.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
that's what I would go for, and I would probably rather uh, like charge less to get the people, because having a bigger workshop is more exciting, and that
Okay.
excitement leads people to be more likely to work to buy from you.
Okay.
Um,
So like 50, like $49 or
yeah, I
something?
would do that.
Okay, $49.
Uh,
Okay. All right.
because ultimately, like the how much you make from the workshop, it doesn't really matter. All we're doing is trying to filter so that we get people that are serious about this,
Hmm.
and so that they will then learn about our program. They're the two
Okay.
things. We want to give a ton of value to the right people, um, and this is 100 people who buy. So even if 70% attend, it's okay. You can still get buyers from those who didn't attend. Maybe they watch it afterward, or maybe they just receive the emails. So you
Hmm.
send a bunch of emails after the fact, and on the landing page for the workshop, um, for the replays, underneath is like a sell for your program.
Hmm.
You have to remember that people that watch it after won't have the link. So you'll need
Okay.
to have that link underneath with like some details uh, and a testimonial or something, um, so that they have the link at hand as well. Okay, so this is the like during and post. So in order to get 100 people, um, you probably want to do like 7 days of selling. I think that's more than enough.
Okay.
Um, it
And a lot
creates,
in stories.
yeah.
So,
So what this does is selling more for extended periods kills pressure.
mhm.
So like if you're like, I've got a thing in a month, they're like, yeah, whatever, and then they forget about it. But
Mhm.
and also then you're like, if you want this to be a sustainable thing that you can do every month, you don't want to be selling all the time because people get sick of it. So it's
Mhm.
sell for 7 days. So
When you
let's
do
say,
that, Do you make all of your videos that go in the feed sales videos, or do you do
Uh,
you focus more on
you can
stories?
do four like posts on feed that sell in that week. So for you, I know
Mhm.
you make a lot more content than that. So you
Mhm.
can just, if you post twice a day and for a week selling, that's really like very manageable. And then if you don't sell the spots you need to, you'll have like a few backup posts. If you don't hit the target. Um, okay, and then you're gonna have uh, multiple stories per day. Um, Link in bio on all platforms only goes to workshop. Um, you grab email and name first on landing page and then send daily emails to those who sign filled form but didn't buy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So grab. Oh, okay. So you're saying that it should be like an application process to get into the workshop?
Just like, all right, sweet, give us your name and email. And then on the
Mm-hmm.
next page would be like, okay, give us your credit card details.
Mm-hmm.
But when you grab the name and email, you send that information to your um, email like sender or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
your software, and then it automatically starts sending them an email every day. And then the last few days, it's sending multiple emails.
Mm. Okay.
Um, they're like abandoned cart emails, basically. And then you're also selling uh, every day in emails to your email list, and then oop, and then in the last 2 days you ramp up to twice a day.
Okay.
Um, so just for reference, the guy I know right now who's doing the best with workshops, and he works very little. I think he's working like 3 hours a day, and he's doing depends 250 to 300K a month with workshops, and he just sells there he just sells a course on the back end, so he doesn't have any deliverables. Um, he does a WhatsApp version of this, and in the last 2 days he sends something like 18 messages on WhatsApp
Mm.
in order to get as many people attending. And then he starts sending old. So you can also send an email to people that have been on previous workshops, like, "Hey, I've got another workshop. Get those people through first." That's like an easy win. The ones that
Mm-hmm.
you didn't sell to back in October, they should be the first email. Uh, they already know that it's valuable and be like, here's a little discount as well,
Okay.
because they've already bought. You can also do like uh, bonuses that are as valuable as the workshop to get them over the line. Um, and you definitely want a landing page. Did you have a landing page last time, like selling the workshop?
Yeah, I use Stan Store. Like I try to use like another thing, but Stan, I don't know, it just seems to be like really optimized for
Hmm.
mobile. But it's just I know it's not it's not even it's not pretty, it's not easy to manage.
Uh,
like there's all kinds of, and if you want to give discounts, you have to pay the $100 a month version, and it's
yeah,
just
I think we're gonna need to switch from Standstore for this. Um,
what would you recommend?
I think we can use something like Unbounce, the
Unbound?
cheapest version. which I don't know what it is. I think it's 29 a month. Just it's just a landing page thing.
Okay.
Um, so multiple stories a day. Some are like value, some are testimonials, some are stories, some are straight sells, some are countdown timers. A
Hmm.
real mix.
Okay.
Um, and when are you doing this?
I'm thinking uh, well, okay, so actually, this is why I wanted to have this today because I think I'm gonna start. Let me look at the calendar because I have another thing that I have to do for a brand on March 27th. So I need at least 7 day or 2 weeks. So I think I set a date. I know I set a date on here somewhere. Um, I'm thinking like maybe like March 5th.
Okay, so what, that's like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah,
What's the date? Is that a Friday?
Thursday.
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 Okay, so I would start between now and then.
Mm,
Between now and then, start getting emails. So we need lead magnets that follow on nicely to the workshop. So if we have more people on the email list, we'll be able to sell more people
okay.
because we can't sell tons and tons on Reels, but with the emails we can send like in a 7 day period we could send 9 emails.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. So, for the next, so starting next week, I start with like with the sales emails and then also with the stories
Yeah, from
and
next Thursday.
yeah, for next Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, okay, so that's that. And obviously you're in the program, so you can run us by what the content is. I would try and make the content in advance so it's a little more thought through. Even if I know you're not much of a scripter, but let's think about like what they need to know in order to like go, I need this workshop.
I don't know, it's hard to say because when I was doing the workshop, I remember I was doing like little tutorial, like little like get ready with me or tutorial things, and they didn't do that well. But then I did this one talking head, like here's why you have a closet full of things and nothing to wear. And then I talked about that, and then I sold like 10
Great.
of them
So we can
from
take
there.
that
So
same framework and any videos you have that have performed in the past, put them in
mhm.
like a Google Doc and we'll run through them together
Okay.
and we'll find like, okay, how can we redo this video in a way that sells this workshop?
Okay.
Um, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel here.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Shall we talk about selling? Sounds like you don't like selling. It sounds like. Where do you think the block is?
I don't I feel like people don't like being sold to. I just see so many people complaining about like, oh, this person only has links or this person sells or this person does this. And I feel like I'm delivering them content that they don't want to see.
Hmm. But in
And
the workshop, I mean.
oh, in the workshop,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I just maybe why don't I like to sell? Um I feel weird. Like it's just it feels icky. Here's the thing about my program. It's really not about becoming somebody else. It's not like really like a transformation in the sense of like, oh, I'm somebody new and different now and here's my glow up and blah blah blah. It's more like you becoming more of yourself. And why would people pay to be more of who they are?
Because
And
it's
that's why I
painful
feel like,
to not be yourself. It makes you insecure and it makes you doubt yourself and it makes it like you can't be in the present moment. And you
Mhm.
look back and you regret all of those moments and um, you probably live a smaller life than you otherwise would. You don't wear the clothes that you really want to. Um, there's a ton of reasons why. I mean, that's definitely a transformation and uh, it's a powerful one, a really
Mhm.
powerful one, especially like if you speak to people that are like either people pleasers or super insecure, like being able to be comfortable in their own shoes and to be more of themselves, huge.
Hmm.
It's like life changing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, I think for me it is. I guess it's just um I don't know why like it just feels like a scam.
but
Like come to
I've
learn or
spoken to
learn how
someone
to
who's gone through it, and I know it's not a scam.
who did you speak to?
Helen.
Helen, oh yeah. That's right. Yeah,
And
so it's
and unlike a lot of people, you're making efforts to make it even better by working with Helen,
yeah.
who's like a education scientist. You
Yeah.
care. So and it works. So what? Why would it's like a doctor selling you like headache medication when you have a headache. You're not
Mm,
like, how dare you? You're like, oh, yeah, thanks. And or you're like, no, I don't like taking uh, meds. I'll just like, you know, grin and bear it. But like
mhm,
in no in whether you say yes or you say no, you're like, it makes sense for the doc to offer me pain meds when I'm struggling.
mhm.
That's fine. It doesn't feel like a sell. And when you give a ton of value and then you're like, hey, look, if you want more of this, and you can preface it, you can be like, look, if this is not for you, go have a little dance, drink a coffee, whatever, like scream into a pillow. It's cool. Like, I'm only here to like talk to the people that want more of this. Cool.
Yeah.
They're now like going away. I'll call you back when it's time for Q&A. And now you're
Yeah.
just talking to the people that are like, I want more of this.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the difference between this and a webinar is a webinar's free, and then all you do is sell. Like you kind of masquerade, you pretend you're giving value, but you don't.
Mhm.
Um, with this, the goal should be you really, really give a ton of value. So you've more than like if they pay 50 quid, you've given them something worth 200, 500, whatever.
Mhm.
Especially with the bonuses and stuff. And then you're like, I'm just like selling at the end of it. What's the problem with that? To a group of people who are most likely to buy that I've given a ton of value to.
Logically, like I feel like I like because it's like I'm helping people learn how to be creative, and it's like people like, well, that should be free. And I'm like, well, like I went to art school, like, and I paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
to learn
Yeah.
this. And so, and I paid for like 20, 30, 20. It took me 20 years to pay that.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that was crazy. But yeah, so I mean, I guess it's just like these things are like creativity is free, but learning how to be creative is not
No, it's a
free.
process. Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
by the way, did you practice the workshop in advance?
I do like style labs like twice a week, and in one of the style labs, we're going to do the workshop and stuff. And I'm also going to make a workbook that they could have, so like a Canva workbook, so they can put pictures, so then they could see their transformation. So that's something I would hope that they would think like, oh yeah, this actually works. I want
Mm,
more of this.
great.
And so,
So
um,
practice it more than once. So obviously practice it with a live group. That's great. And
mhm,
then you're going to have to add in the sales bit at the start, throughout, and at the end.
mhm,
And then you're going to need to practice all of this, and especially the selling bit, because that's if that's the bit where you feel least comfortable, that's where we want to put in the most reps. So do it in front of your husband, your children, whoever. Get in as many reps as you can, and it will start. One thing I also noticed is some bits were longer than they needed to be, and if you rep it out a few times, you'll be much more concise, and that gives you more time for the things that really matter, which is like we want to fill it with value, and we want them to be doing stuff because that feels more valuable, and then we want time to sell and have Q&A, and we'll have more of time for all of that if we're tighter with what we're saying, which just takes reps. Then you're like, I know exactly what I'm saying, and you'll have the confidence when the sale comes to be like, to do it in a way that feels authentic to you. And when you do it to your husband, if you're like, you just adjust it. That's the place to adjust it. But if you go into that call and you still are like, and you haven't repped it out, when the sale comes, you'll go, anyway, links in the thing, and you'll skip over it and go, okay, Q&A, and you'll just skip it. And I've been there. I literally did that in my first webinar. I got too scared to sell, and I just put the link and then immediately left. So how could they even see the link? And that's because I didn't practice the webinar in advance. And the workshops I've done, I practice them in advance, and it makes that way more easy to do. I know what the beats are, where I need to be by what time, and all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'll practice. So I'm a person who likes to work off the fly for some reason, which is not healthy. So,
it can work in certain places, but
yeah,
if we're to scale the business, we need stuff that's like more structured. So for the content, I think a lot of the content, we can just keep it like that because it's working. A conversation for another time is like, would we sell more if we were more structured in the content? Almost certainly. There's like a randomness to it. Like you're getting so many views that that should already be a six-figure business if the views were the right views. So, but I think that's not the place to focus right now. I would focus first on, let's bring a little more structure. The chaos is working fine. And also I'm very chaotic myself, so I get it. But the chaos works for you in organic content. There's like, you have a natural skill there. So let's stick with that. But then for the workshop, let's bring in some more structure so that we're hitting the points when we need to. You can say it every time. You're not learning a script, to be clear. It's just that you're going to do it enough times that you find something that feels right. Oh, that's a cool metaphor. I'm going to use that next time. This is not a script. I do think you should have slides and the more slides. So like every 30 seconds or a minute, change slide. It's like short form content. Like it keeps the pacing going and it keeps you closer to the point, to where you need to be. If you've got one slide for 20 minutes, you're going to be, because you're like, I think our minds are quite similar. I'll just go off. I'll be all over the place. And then I'm like, oh shit, I'm like 20 minutes behind.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, thank you so much for this. This is super helpful. And I'm excited to get this. I think this is I mean, if anything, I can figure it. I can figure it out. But I figured out how to get multiple workshops in. So I think that even if like we don't sell that many courses, like just getting into the workshop model will at least like get me closer to that 100 mark.
Yeah. So I think run 3, it lowers the pressure on this one as well. It's like, I only need to be good on the last one. And this one's an experiment. And I'm going to give it my best go, but it really is just a test for me. And I can give some value to people. And that will lower the pressure. And it's also true. You only need the last one to work. If you're trying to sell 10, you can do that. And then once it works, it's gangbusters. You're going to be like able to do that every month. If you can find a way to run cohorts simultaneously, then
Mhm.
you could run one a month and get 10 people in every month.
That would be amazing.
And
Okay.
then that's what 180K a year if my math is right.
Yeah,
Um,
that's if we stay at that thing. So,
mhm.
yeah, okay. All right. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I
My
really appreciate
pleasure.
I'm really excited. So,
Yeah, I
anyway,
think you should be. And I think yeah, please like share in the Discord any questions and when you have like it more fleshed out and stuff like that, like okay, we're going to send these emails, we're going to do that. Please share that and we'll help structure it and make sure
Mhm.
that you're selling as many as you can.
True. Okay, awesome. Yay,
Great.
human.
Cheers,
Okay, all right.
Janine.
All
Bye
right, take
bye.
care. All right, bye-bye.